Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly here on BGSUFalcons.com. I'm Evan Pittman, joined by the head coach of the Bowling Green Falcons, Chris Bergeron. Coach, a nice weekend, 3-0 win on Friday, and then you're able to come back on Saturday and tie it up. Just assess the weekend.
Well, I would say nice is probably a good way to put it. You know, we knew Alaska Fairbanks was a really good team. You know, watching them on tape the weekend before at home against Ferris State, they were very physical. I think they outshot Ferris 2-1 over the course of the weekend. The first game was close, but the second game was a 6-0 game, and so we knew they were coming in with a bunch of confidence, and they wanted to make amends for what had happened at Fairbanks when we were up there before. We had our guys prepared, but the first 7 or 8 minutes on Friday, I thought Fairbanks beat us to the punch. They were more physical. They had a little more jump than we did. We were able to settle in and actually play a pretty good game. I thought we defended hard all game long. We limited their shots to 18. I'm not exactly sure how many chances they had, maybe 14 or 15. And we had a bunch of chances and a bunch of shots. And ultimately, what we were able to do in the third period that we weren't able to do in the first two was create a bunch of offense. And that was really the only thing I would have changed after 2 periods was we've got to get more pucks and people towards the net. And we were able to do that and capitalize on a couple. And obviously, scoring in the first 12 seconds of the third period on Friday was a huge confidence thing and got the crowd into it. It was a big crowd and gave us some momentum for the rest of the game. And then Saturday, I thought we started great. You know, the shots were 10-1 through 10 minutes of the period or something like that. And we had a really good opportunity that comes to mind with Mark Cooper in front of the net on the power play. We weren't able to execute there. And all of a sudden, then they put 2 pucks on our net that go in, and not pucks that normally go in. And I think it rattled all of us. And we weren't able to gather ourselves, quite honestly, until the end of the second period. The end of the second period comes. I think our guys were upset with the situation. They were upset with the score. And then even in the third, we didn't dominate the third like I thought we did Friday night. We had a good third. I think the shots were 13-12, so a pretty even period. We took 1 bad penalty late with 3 minutes to go in the third that I didn't like at all. But you know, Sean scores with 9 minutes to go in the game, and then obviously a big hard push there with under a minute and a half. So I'm proud of the fact that we were able to hang in there and salvage a point out of a game where it didn't look like we were going to get any points. And we've proven again that when we get painted into a corner, we've got some fight to us, but we want to clean things up a little bit and defend at a higher level so we don't put ourselves in a situation where we're down 4-1 going into the third.
Now, is that a difference from last year's team to this year's team, the resiliency that comes into mind late in games?
Last year, we were not resilient, Evan. We had the lead a bunch, and we weren't able to close out those games. The resiliency has been built up over the first 3 years here, or the first 4 years here, where we're losing all the time, and we have to come back. And you know, if you look at where we were in the standings and our win-loss record, they weren't very good. So you build up resiliency there. We had guys that didn't want to quit, and they were proud guys. But last year, it wasn't a resilient thing. It was being able to close out games where we had 1-goal leads or tie games going into the third, where we found a way to squander those leads or and lose those games or tie those games. This year, we haven't been down a whole lot going into the third, and for us to be able to, you know, Friday night tied going into the third and do what we did, and then Saturday night down by 3 going into the third and do what we did, I think they're all good things. They're all character builders, and they're, you know, you're learning more and more about this group every day. We're learning good things, but from a coaching perspective, I don't want us to be in a situation where we're down 3 goals going into the third, and we're going to do what we can to remedy that and make it right.
And last week, the Hobie Baker finalists came out throughout the league, and no Bowling Green player was on there, but it's kind of a positive in a way because there's been such balanced scoring from all 4 lines and even the defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be able to say we've got 3 or 4 Hobie Baker guys that are in that conversation, but Evan, the reality is the Hobie Baker is the top player in the country. We got a bunch of good players on our team. We got a bunch of great kids, and we've done it by committee. And you know, we feel. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad thing. It is what it is, and you know, I think the guys that were nominated from our league deserve it. They're top end players. We feel like we've got top end players on our team, but we're okay with not having anybody on that list.
And now we look forward to this weekend against Michigan Tech. Obviously, a huge series, the first time facing the Huskies this season.
Yeah, they're a great team. I mean, we played them 6 times last year, 4 in the second half, and then 2 times just before the first half ended. And Man, I wasn't sure there was a team as good as they were that we played last year, quite honestly. And I know Mankato's in that. We played them 5 times. But to play them as much as we did, and I mean, they came in here the second half of the year and swept us in our building, and then we were able to get the better of them in the playoffs. They come at you in waves. They defend hard. They're a really good home team. I think they're veteran. They're top guys with Tanner Kiro and Blake Patila. I mean, these guys are top-notch players, and we're going to have to be ready to go. They'll expose you if you're not. They're coming off a weekend where I think they got 1 of 4 points against Northern, but 2 overtime games, I believe. I'm sure they're going to be a little bit fired up because of that. The focus will be controlling what we can, obviously. With the crowd, we have no control over, and giving ourselves 2 opportunities to put in 2 efforts, and we want to be able to do that. That's how we're going to prepare. We're going to get on the bus with that mindset tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time, and thanks again for joining me, and talk to you next week, and best of luck this week.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.